Hey, here we are. It is Wednesday the 28th, 6 o'clock on the dot. Got to camp about 20-30 minutes ago. Still getting set up right now. That's Beached. That's me. My sleeping pad unceremoniously on the top of my tent, fluffing up a little bit. We'll go ahead and throw her inside of the tent. But it's been a eventful but good last couple of days. Started out yesterday, had a pretty big climb. Got up to the rim, the saddle above Noble Lake. And shortly after that, Tough ended up leaving us. She humped off trail. There was a pass that had a road going by it, had a trailhead there. She found a couple people to take her into town. She just wasn't feeling like trying to keep up with the mileage that we were doing, which is understandable. We're burning it pretty hard here, still in a lot of snow, but trying to make decent time, get to Reno by the 4th of July, and South Lake Tahoe by now tomorrow morning. And yeah, trying to push the pace a little bit. We're going to be trying to push the pace more, obviously, once we're completely out of the snow. But good news on that front. Yesterday, first half of the day was pretty snowy. Second half, it cleared up a bit. And then today's been a lot more like the second half of yesterday. Still mostly snow on the trail, but it's on and off. And the on and off allows you to you know, navigate a little bit easier, know where the trail is. Makes it a little bit nicer. Did have a pretty sketchy traverse a couple of days ago. There was this huge cornice. We got pictures in there, and you could see. I'm calling it a cornice, but it was really just a big old, I don't know, mound of snow right in the middle of the saddle where we needed to go, right where the trail went. It was impassable, like, I don't know, 100-foot tall wall of snow, just right there that you'd have to literally climb straight up. So you could see somebody had tried to climb out to the end of it and get up to the top, and they had slipped down. Didn't see a body, so I think they made it. But yeah, not what we wanted to do. So we ended up down climbing probably 100, 200 feet, and then back up, going down the canyon and then back up so that we could avoid that. A little bit of rock scrambling, and I snapped a trekking pole. Luckily we went by a pass today, and they had some loner poles, and the lady there, she was a trail angel, and she told me absolutely to take one of the loner poles, that I could have it and take it to Canada. So that's what we're going to try to do. So I got my new pole over there sticking up. Oh yeah, there's only one of them. I lost one while I was glissading in the Sierras probably about a week ago. So I've been a one pole guy since then, which actually isn't that bad because I've got the ice axe, and when I need it, it's one pole and one axe anyhow. But today was pretty cool. Made pretty good mileage early on, about 2 miles an hour, which 2 miles an hour is pretty slow for us if it's dry trail, but on snow that's phenomenal. So ended up making it to camp at a reasonable time. We took about an hour and a half lunch, because we ended up stopping by Carson Pass where I got that trekking pole, and it rained a little bit, but there was a little volunteer Forest Service station there, so talked to the volunteers there for a little while. They fed us a little bit, so I didn't eat my actual lunch, so I'm gonna have a little bit of a heartier dinner this evening, and then we're going into town tomorrow. Oh yeah, and we met a guy where the same pass where Tough got off. We met a guy named Shopper. I've seen his comments a lot in Far Out, mentioning, if there's water in the desert and stuff like that, so it's kind of cool to put a face to a name. He's behind us now. He's got an Achilles injury, and he's limiting his miles right now. But while we were at Carson Pass, we found out that 2 days ago a group of 14 was there. So I think a group of 8 and a group of 6 converged. They had the trail log, and I recognize a lot of the names from Kennedy Meadows. So I think there was a group of 6 and a group of 8. And now I don't know if they're all one group, but they're at least hiking together, and they're only 2 days ahead of us. And the volunteers there said that they were mentioning they were planning on going to Tahoe for a couple of days, and we're planning on just doing an in and out, getting back on trail same day. So we might end up seeing them sooner rather than later. or we might end up passing them while they're in town. Honestly, I probably would like to see some other humans. It was nice talking to Shopper. It'd be nice to talk to some other people that have gone through kind of the same last month that I have. But it is what it is. We'll meet them or we won't. But either way, the direction is north. We already got a ride lined up for tomorrow. Stinger, a friend of River Dance, lives in South Lake Tahoe. He's going to pick us up. So that's it for now. Until next time. Hey. Here we go. It is Friday, June 30th, 7:22 a.m. I am on the trail, on dry trail. Look how nice that looks. Yeah. We're excited about this. So, a little bit of an update. Little bits happened, not a ton, since the last we spoke. Yesterday, we got into Lake Tahoe. It wasn't a terrible day. There was some snow early on, but still made decent progress. And then a little bit off trail rock scramble. We thought our options were a really steep side hill for like a mile, based on the topo and what we saw in front of us, or we could do a little bit of a steep down to get off the hill and then walk a valley that looked like it was just a prairie and rejoin the trail. And it was covered with snow, so it's like, well, we're not actually going to be physically walking on trail either way, so let's take the way that looks easiest. So it sucked. Long story short, turns out there was a bit of a rock scramble. Beach post hold all the way up to his nipples, man. There was a buried rock underground. Couldn't see. Big old pocket around it, and he fell down. Luckily, he was completely okay. Has one little scrape on his shin, but he's a big boy. He'll be all right. So we got picked up by Shopper's the guy a day or two behind us. Got picked up by Stinger, one of River's friends. Dude has lived an amazing life. It was really cool talking to him, hearing some stories. He's done the CDT 3 times, the PCT a couple of times. He's done the AT, whole bunch of other shit. For example, he kayaked from Washington to Alaska. So, just some wild, crazy stuff. So it's fun hanging out with him, talking about skiing, snowboarding, outside sports, whatever. We were originally planning on doing a quick in and out, getting back on the trail. But yesterday, towards the end of the day, he talked us into spending the night, getting an early start. In the morning, we were planning on hitting McDonald's at 6, getting out here by like 6:30. But apparently, the McDonald's cook didn't show up to work on time. I don't know. I didn't know they had a cook. I thought they just had people that flip burgers and shit, but they said they were not open. Oh, this is kind of cool. See a little wood sign right here says Happy Trails. So yesterday was a blast. Hung out with Stinger. Ended up only really having to buy a very, very slight resupply because he had apparently a hiker was trying to do an FKT yo-yo attempt. So Mexico to Canada and back. Figured out 2023 was not the year, but they already had a bunch of resupply boxes sent all the way out. And so Stinger a while ago had gone by with this guy and collected all these packages, and then the guy was flying back home, couldn't take it all with him, but he needed to get his like medicine and stuff out of the boxes. But all the food was just still sitting at Stinger's house, so got to do most of a resupply on that. Just bought a few odds and ends at the grocery store. So that was pretty dope. And then this morning, like I said, McDonald's was closed, so hit a coffee shop, got a coffee and a breakfast sandwich, and now we're on the trail. While we were in town, though, we did get a little bit of intel, which I'm excited about. We talked to Riverdance. He's probably in Quincy right now. He was camping just outside of town and getting into town first thing this morning. So that was kind of cool talking to him. But since he's hiking up trail, he had some intel for us. He said first couple of days past Donner is pretty snowy. After that, it clears out. He currently has just been doing like half-mile stretches here and there of snow coverage. He says it's not slowing him down at all. And that's exciting because obviously it's not slowing me down right this second. But according to the hiker we passed yesterday, we've got this until a couple miles past Echo Lake, or past Lake Tahoe. I don't know. He said there was a bit of a dry stretch and then it picked back up. So we'll see. I'm expecting more than 50% snow the next 5 days, 5 hiking days. So that would be, between here and Reno, and then another 2 days. And then after that, I think we're mostly done. I'm sure we'll see a little snow here and there. Some folks might think it's a lot of snow, but compared to what we've done, it's going to be, nothing. At least that's what I'm hoping for. So exciting times. We got to get to Reno by the 4th. We'll be fine for that. We do have a big day cut out for us today. We're going to try and do about 25 miles and get out of the desolation wilderness. Technically, you're supposed to have a bear can to camp. Technically, I guess legally is more the right word. You're supposed to have a bear can to camp in the desolation wilderness. So we're going to make it all the way through. At least that's our plan. It's about 22 miles. A good chunk of it should be dry. We've been doing 20 plus miles pretty much every day on full days. So that's the plan. Got some shoes, hopefully headed to Reno. Haven't gotten a shipping confirmation yet, so hopefully they're there when we get there. We'll find out. But yeah, things are good. Feels good knowing that there's light at the end of the tunnel. Hearing, word of mouth, this is what it is up here from somebody that I've hiked with and I trust. I just saw on Facebook something about a ranger going up Forester Pass and saying the boot track was gone and snow is too hard to get their ice axe in or something, and several groups turning around. Like, I don't care who you are. I don't care if you're a ranger, another hiker, or what. Unless I've been with you for a long time and know you, I don't trust a damn thing you say about trail conditions, because I guarantee that ranger was telling the truth. But the truth for that ranger was not the same as, the skill level and ability of other people behind them, right? Just because somebody says something is unpassable, okay, unpassable at that time, unpassable with your skill level, there's a lot of things that could mean. We got told the McCabe Creek was uncrossable, but here we are 100 miles north of it. Crossed it with little to no problem. So, I don't know. I guess I'm ranting a little bit now. So I'm going to wind her down, but I don't know. I guess just kind of seeing that. And all the people that have skipped kind of reiterates for me that, to each his own, everybody's got to do what's right for them. But for me, it was definitely the right thing to come into the Sierras and see what it looked like, because for me it was passable. It was a little bit miserable. A couple of moments that were a little sketchy, but really not that many of them. And here we are. A bit of pain and misery later, and we are at South Lake Tahoe. So, I don't know, I'm rambling now, so I'm gonna let her go. You can kind of see we're in a little bit of a burn area. They had a really nasty fire last year or 2 years ago, but right out there, you can kind of see the lake. Took a couple of pictures of it around sunset last night, but that's it. We're out here. We are over 1,000 miles in, and really excited to cruise a little bit once the snow really clears up. But for right now, we're marching forward. So, all right, it feels good being back on trail. Hopefully there's more of this to come. Can't guarantee anything for the next 3 or 4, 5 days, but after that we should be mostly back on dry trail. So, all right, until next time. Hey, it's only a few minutes later from the last video, but forgot to talk about a couple of things. So, one, we are at Echo Lake right now, which is where the Sierra map ends and the NorCal map begins. So that's a pretty big milestone, pretty exciting. Happy to be here. Hey, how are you? Got some hikers up here. But wanted to talk, I forgot to mention about the bears that we saw a couple days ago. So me and Beach were walking, I was leading, and got, I don't know, it wasn't far, 50 yards or so, maybe less, from a whole family of bears. Saw mama first and a couple of cubs. Not what you want to see is mama with cubs. They tend to get a little protective that way, but saw her before she saw me, said, "Hey, bear." She looked up at me and kind of bristled up her hair on the back of her neck, and took a few steps forward. The kiddo started running up a tree, and she got in between us and that tree, and me and Beach just kind of made ourselves look a little bit bigger and then tried to shuffle away. The problem with shuffling away is that when you're on snow, it's hard not to fall and not look where you're going. So it was a little bit of a mess, but we made it happen, got away, and then they skirted on off. Thought there was only 3 at first, but when we saw the kids run down out of the tree, there was another not fully grown, probably juvenile, 2-year-old bear over off to the right side. They went on out as well, so kind of interesting there. First time I'd seen a bear on trail, seen a couple off trail before, but that was the first one on trail. So after 1,700 miles of trail, finally saw some bears, so that's kind of cool. But I'm working right now. I swapped to this pack in Ridgecrest, and it's already given me some issues. If you see right down here where the hip belt attaches, sorry, that's a bear skin. It's starting to come apart there. Really only the bias fabric is keeping it together. So contacted Osprey, we'll see what they do. Unfortunately, they were not answering the phones yesterday when I called, but we'll see what happens. I've got a couple packs at home. I do, and my brother does, that we can figure things out if necessary. So we'll figure it all out, but that's it. Just a couple updates while I was waiting on Beach in the toilet. He's out now. Sure, he appreciates me telling everybody that he was just taking a dump there, but hiker life, man. When you get a pit toilet, you use it. All right, next time.